My homies. What a day, you know? I can't complain whatsoever. I'm feeling phenomenal, on top of my game, just consistently in the positive, you know? Everything's feeling green and spicy. It's a really great feeling to be able to go through a workout, feel completely confident, comfortable, and strong. And this is not an ego thing. I just am extraordinarily busy and have plans. So it was just, I decided, you know, today is going to be the first day where I let my knees take a chill pill, and I decided not to do my sled pulls today, which, sure, I might, I could wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. But I'm doing what feels good for today, you know? It feels very, very confident, and I want to be able to try to slowly get that confidence back to where I don't necessarily need to depend on strengthening my knees as hard as I've been doing the past 5 months. You know, they're getting slowly better and better, so I got to treat them like they're getting stronger. Now, that does not mean I'm going to neglect my knee rehab and my PT and my sled pulls and my backward walking, because I still did my reverse treadmill at an incline before I started my workout. But it's just, you know, maybe doing it, you know, a couple days lesser in the week, or maybe I could, you know, when I get back on the heavier program next week, I could do them on my squat and bench days with light Olympic lifts, and then leave them off of my heavy snatch and clean and jerk days so I don't overburn myself out, you know? Stuff like that. Just, you know, I'm taking control back. But it feels great. My power snatches were really good. It's getting to the point where I feel like I'm making it look easy, you know? And again, it's always going to be really hard. And I trust me, I pushed it to the maximum today for what my body was capable of. But it's getting to that point where I can hit these weights and, you know, I grab the barbell, and the moment my hand touches that metal, I'm like, yeah, I fucking got this shit, you know? It's just, I don't have to really doubt my capabilities anymore. And it's a wonderful privilege to be able to have acquired through my own individualized effort. I will say I got to 205 again, like last week, which is great, because in my experience so far, even though the kg plates feel heavier the first time you use them just because it's different equipment, using the kg and pound plates consistently, I now know that the pound plates actually feel heavier. I don't know if it's because they're thicker and they bounce more, or they whip with a, you know, it maybe lands harder, I don't know. But the pound weights do feel heavier than kg. So I'm very happy to have hit 3 triples at 205 today with some pretty decent confidence. You know, I gotta be a little honest, and you know, that last set I'm not the most proud of. The first rep, I almost caught it slightly forward, and I managed to push through right at the right time, which is great. The second rep, you know, that shit was ugly. I'm not even gonna bring it up again. You can see that for yourself. But again, it was a lockout. It was there. I leaned forward like a bitch, but whatever. It was my best effort. I got a little overconfident and just stopped thinking about the form for a second. But that doesn't mean the efforts and the fruits of my labor are not as credible as they would have been, you know? That was just what ended up being my best today. But that last rep, I certainly did get a very nice confident whippage. It's getting really nice, because like, especially since since the strength has been coming back, I'm able to put a little bit more focus and control on my core and my technique, and being able to really maintain and exceed those expectations, or my hopes at the very least, has made it to where I can do these lifts without really feeling shitty ever. You know, I had really consistent hand pain about a month ago for a couple weeks, where I just kept, you know, overshooting it or landing too far forward. Just everything and anything was hurting my hand, because I wasn't performing well. My efficiency was in the fucking tubes, and it was tanking what my body was actually capable of doing. You know, because of my bone growth, that's never going to go away unless I have surgery, and I'm not doing a year's worth of rehab for something that I can work around through proper effort and PT. But with the constant pain, that the growth would, you know, it would either pinch my nerve a little bit, or it'd strain my tendon that runs through my hand, through my wrist, and it would just, my grip strength would just go to zero. temporarily. I'd wake up, I'd be fine. I could grip anything as strong as I wanted to, just like my right hand. And then I'd go to the gym and I'd do one set and my hand feels like it's going to fall off because it's so numb. It just was not healthy. But now I'm catching it exactly where my body needs it to be caught. And even on the ones where I whiff it a little bit, like that second to last one, I'm still pulling it back, and the higher percentage of consistent form and technique is what's making it more and more efficient. I'm mitigating my potential for risk injury. It's kind of like how I program to maintain or exceed, or just really be able to calculate how much I'm going to be fatigued throughout the week. And I'm finally getting to that point where I can do these lifts, know exactly how each set needs to feel, so that I can keep my body from over pushing it. Like this past week, my right behind my right knee, it felt a little tight, I want to say. No pain, no real soreness. It just feels less mobile, I guess you could say. And I think that might be an effect of I was putting maybe a little bit more strain on my right to take my left away from it while I was getting through the rehab a couple weeks ago. But now that my knee feels way better, I'm slowly starting to shift back on an even squat, at least what's even for my body, because one leg is slightly longer than the other. And it's really feeling great. I got on my pause back squats today, and I will say my squats from the other day were not as great as I wanted them to be, sure, but there was fantastic effort, and that's what really fucking matters. And I was just really burnt out. It's fine. I'm getting used to the volume and conditioning again, and more importantly, the weights. I haven't gone heavy like this in a while, in a long while. So today, I was very happy to where I got to the point where I not only did the same weights and the same volume as last week on my power snatches with the pound plates that feel heavier for me, but on my pause squat, got back up to 365. And while I didn't hit the third set that I was hoping for, because last week I was only able to do 2 sets of 6, grinding as hard as I could, like really screaming my heart out. This week, my core has grown so much more confident that I was able to do that second set without, going as balls to the walls as I was last week. Even if I'm not hitting a materialistically as high as a materialistic number, it doesn't mean that my strength and my potential and my capabilities, my explosiveness coming out of the hole is getting much more confident along the way. And it felt great. I didn't want to push a third set because my core was definitely starting to go a little numb. But it was way, way, way more controlled and powerful than it was last week. I'm very, very proud and excited to be able to say that. Because, man, it's been a thorough process of understanding my body again. Seeing what's actually comfortable, what's capable, what my body basically will allow me to do. Because it's not so much where I can just sit there and grab the barbell and whip it as hard as I want to like I used to do before. I have to really prioritize not only my core and my technique, but also how likely am I to get injured in this very moment. I'm not going to overthink it, and I'm not going to make that a worry, or a doubt, but it's something that I have to remain cautious of so that I can continuously put in maximum effort exactly to what my body's capable of. I'm going to keep reassuring that, because emphasizing that, because that's what's really important. It's listening to your body to the extent that it's comfortably powerful to do. I don't like telling people to listen to their body by itself, because then they get the misconception that they can lift as heavy as they want to the moment they feel fine. No, man. You got to find a weight that feels harder than a warm-up. The technique is starting to go away because you have to drive way harder and use those main muscle groups way more, and you got to lock in your core harder. The moment you hit those kinds of weights and those kinds of sets, that's where you should stop and hit a couple sets and then work up to that maximum effort so that you can consistently hit heavy-ish weights, but with the same amount of effort that you'd hit at a PR weight. You know what I mean? And it literally cuts like the risk of injury in half. It's wonderful, So, all in all, physically, I felt great. There was really good homies around. It was a very hyped day. And it was honestly just all around nice to be there. I'm getting more and more confident in myself and getting better control over my body. So it's become a lot more of a, I'm always going to be as passionate as I can, but the passion well was pretty dried out for a couple months while I've been getting used to everything. And it's good to be able to want to go back. I'd have so many shitty days where I'd just be thinking of what's going to feel shitty today. It was a pretty self-degrading mindset, but we're really pulling it back. So as strong as I was feeling today and as better as it looked and felt, other than that one power snatch, I'm definitely going to have to give it we're going to give it a 9.3. It was very good. It was very, very confident. Good whip, good explosiveness, good core strength, better control and stability than last week. Can't be upset whatsoever. Mentally, I'm definitely gonna have to give it like a 9.5. Like I've been on top of the fucking world lately, man. It's one of those things where I keep telling you guys, like, in order to be truly passionate about something, you have to fill up that passion well by having the initial commitment. You gotta show up, and by continuously committing, regardless of what happens in your daily life outside of that commitment, you eventually become disciplined to the point where you have to show up, unless something is completely in the way and there's absolutely no way you can do it, and there's no way, that's like the only reason you'd have an excuse. If it's just I feel really, really exhausted today and I just don't want to overdo it, dude, you can go in and do the barbell and I'd be happy. You know what I mean? Do something at the very least to maintain that effort, that commitment, so that you can say that you are confidently disciplined to where you cannot miss unless a truly, truly important obstacle has gotten in the way that is more important than you going to the gym right in that moment, Like when I went to go see my family, I couldn't go because the nearest gym was more than an hour away, and I drove for 9 hours straight, It just would not have happened. If I went, I most definitely probably would have gotten injured, especially with how my knee was just then recovering. I don't want to push it that quickly, that fast, with that much weight. And so I just went home, did my mobility stretches, did the bare minimum, made sure I was physically still apt, but that doesn't mean you got to go to the gym and do some crazy shit. Just do what you're capable of doing wherever you are stationed. I went to my mom's place and I mobility stretched, did some good static holds, and that was it. That's all I needed. That is enough to maintain. Seriously. But even more than that, it's just it's once you get that truly, like that peak discipline where you've made it there, for a fact that you're not going to miss as long as you can help it with your own comfortable schedule. That's where the passion truly comes out, because you push and you drive through all of these potentially awful days, these extraordinarily tough and hard workouts, back and forth, doing your absolute best every step of the way, no matter how shitty you feel or how tired you are or whatever's happening in your personal life outside of that might be trying to drag you down. Just doing your best and showing up and doing what your body's capable of. That's when you have those rare days, especially like yesterday and today, and like with all the accumulation of effort I've been putting in, where that's where you hit that passion. It's not an everyday thing where you get to exceed and push through that love for what you do, but it's the accumulation of pushing through those hard days or those just okay days, and then finally being able to accept every bit of effort for as credible as it had been that day. You showed up, you did your best. That's fucking raw effort, man. So be proud of yourself for that. I don't care if you didn't lift half the weight you normally do. I don't give a shit. Be proud, Take that home and brag about it, man. It's important. It'll keep the passion moving so that when you hit those really good days where you finally exceed beyond what you thought you were capable of and you make that real-time progress, that's when you've made it. And that's when you're right where you need to be, So either way, that's all I fucking got, man. I'm gonna get out of here. I got pause, clean and jerk, and bench press tomorrow, so it's gonna be a tough one for sure. But with everything going the way I've been wanting it to, I'm very confident. I'm very happy with what is possible, especially with my bench. I'm excited to see how that progresses. So, as always, I appreciate you guys hearing me yap about it. I know it was kind of random today. I kind of just didn't have a plan, just got in here, just started fucking going for it. And we're here now, So, I'm going to do my best. You'll see me tomorrow, of course. I'm going to how the lives and lifts have been going. And I love you guys. I appreciate you as always. See ya.